that I have been anticipating wildly and a little bit nervously, if that's a word, but I'm going to do my first club demo. So what we're going to do is an end grain box, and you can do that. And I left these up here, and I could just throw them back there, and I'll pass some of them around. That's what we'll do. They're basically, there's a lot of ways to do end grain boxes, a lot of ways. The first way that I ever did it was to have my tenon on top, okay, or on the tenon on top of the base of the box. So you have a tenon and you have a mortise. Either way, you're going to have that. With this type box, when you open it up, you see the tenon there, and that's not so bad, but some people don't like that. These little boxes, I feel like you can get a little suction fit better. You can turn this upside down, your contents won't fall out. Another thing about end grain boxes is wood movement is not quite as drastic as it would be on side grain. It still moves, wood's going to move, it's going to always move, but at least this way it kind of moves more uniformly than it would be with side grain, because you know that side grain really elongates on the end grain sides. So that's one type. And then the other type, what we're going to do today, here's another one just like that one that looks like the one we're going to do, but it has the tenon inside also. So they can look the same, but it has the tenon inside. On the box like this, I like to have the box where it sits on the table and the person can take their lid off and the box stays on the table. So that can't be a suction fit even. Well, yeah, suction, I guess. I mean, if I just yank this up, I mean, it would, but a normal person's going to grab the little knob and pick it up, and the box stays on the table. And I'll tell you, I use one of these for on my bathroom counter every night and morning when I take my medicines and vitamins. I just take this off, dish it all up, then just take and do that.
I have a question.
Okay.
Because I just wondered this, with boxes, any magic formula for the height of the tenon? I see all different.
Lots of different, that's a good question. This one has a fairly short tenon. Now I have one back there that has a longer tenon. I don't know of a magic formula. I think if you want a suction, then it needs to be longer. Or a suction or piston fit. Y'all have heard, you know, piston fit. If you want a snap fit lid, to me, you know, this is a little bit better. This is kind of tricky, you know, to get it just like this. That tenon, it helps if you can get that tenon just a fraction smaller on the inside than the outside. I mean, and when I say a fraction, y'all, I'm talking dust coming off the lathe. So what we're going to do today is a box like this. The lid is actually the tenon, and the mortise is in the base. Okay. This is I got this idea from Nick Cook. Of course, when he does it in about 15 minutes. No, wrong, 8. But anyway, it's a simple design, and that's what I need to do on this video. I need to keep it kind of simple. This tenon and mortise fit are a lot less fussy than the one with the tenon on the bottom of the box, and I didn't want to get hung up trying to get a perfect fit while y'all are sitting there going, sleeping. Okay, what else? So here's just a couple more. Here's one out of cherry, same little thing. One of the things I'm going to try and do today to keep it sort of on the simple side, I'm going to try and keep this just not an enclosed form, you know, because when you start hollowing out an enclosed area here, you know, it just eats up a lot of time. So what I have done, and I should have, any questions so far? Okay, so I started with a baseball bat billet, 7.5 or so inches. And I went ahead last night before I came here, I went ahead and trued them up, put a tenon on both ends, and cut them about in half, okay? So once that happens, and y'all please don't hesitate to stop me if you have questions. So once that happens, we're going to turn the base. First thing we do here, we're going to true up the end and the side, and we'll do that right now. Oh, let me put this back on. what's up here? Okay. Oh, there's my price tag from my box. I like to turn fairly fast. This will be a really quick job. It's just a matter of truing it up on this lathe. That's a really good move, wasn't it? Take a little bow gouge. Y'all ever notice when you're turning, you do a lot better job when your hands are relaxed? That's hard for me this morning. So I just want to be able to find the center here. Now, I want to take, can y'all see? Can't see what y'all can see. I want to take a really nice sharp chisel, and I want to come straight in here, make the finest cut I can make. Don't really care how far in it goes. I just want that really fine and clean, and I want it cambered to the inside, just a pinch. Okay, different lathe. Now let's see if we can't do something to find this middle here. Keep looking for the Powermatic button. Just to get the center. Don't really care how perfect that is. Oh, don't you tell me I left my drill at home. No, I didn't. Okay. What can we see? Little hand drill here. Now, a little trick. Can you see the O-ring? You just set the O-ring for whatever depth you want to drill to. Okay. When the O-ring breaks, you have extras down here because you're gonna run it across these flutes sooner or later, and it's going to cut. So now we want to go here. I don't want to go super duper deep. Somewhere between 4 and 500 or 4 and 600, somewhere along in there. I hope y'all do a better job of finding the middle if you do that little thing I just did. Okay, now we want to hollow this out. Lots of different ways that this can be done. I'm going to try a couple of different ones. So if we back hollow with our spindle gouge, we want this gouge to be exactly in the middle of that hole. Don't be afraid of some speed. The flute is straight up. You go in, rotate the flute to the counterclockwise, raise it a little bit, and we want to come out to about 8 3/16, a quarter, somewhere in there. We can actually adjust that later. When it starts making a lot of noise like that, we'll go to a bigger gouge. Since it's a little bit bigger, I need to lower that rest a little bit. And a little more. Flute straight up, raise it a little bit, rotate the tool counterclockwise, swing the handle away. Are y'all able to see that? Yeah. Can you see in there? I'm trying to keep myself out of the way. Not quite to the bottom. Yeah, I made it. Okay, now we need to check our depth. Sometimes these digital calipers don't work just right. I think it worked that time though. Now, I could have started rough shaping this outside first, but you know what I want to do? I want to dress this little lip here. I want to dress this little part right here. Remember when I said I wanted a really smooth cut on this little flat right here? That's this. Just in all the practice I've done, I noticed if I went ahead and made that cut and then make the cut I'm about to make, I wind up with a little cleaner piece of wood right there. Now let's see if we have a tool set up. I know we do. Where is he? It's just like at home, y'all. I'm always looking for my tool. Well, now I know I've got this thing out here. Here it is. Man, oh man. I've got another set of collets ordered for this, but don't have them now. You know, when you do well, for me anyway, for doing this demonstration, I thought, what am I going to need? What am I going to need to buy to make this demonstration happen? And something I really want that would be really cool. So I got this Cindy Drozda, there we go. It's a recess hollowing tool. It's got, I think these are 60 degrees. It's cut to a negative rake, and buddy, it just does a great job. So what we're going to do is we're going to come in, we're going to make sure that we're slightly above the center. And we're going to take this little, that's too far away, too close together rather. And we're going to just start in, and I hope y'all can see because this thing works really nicely. And I like to go about 3/16 of an inch in. And I like mine a little deeper than normal, because if you don't make it deep enough, then the top, in my opinion, gets really dinky. And there's my clean cut just left, but we got it back. Hey. Better? Let's try. I can make it happen. Uh, see if I can go without it at all. Okay. How about that? Is that good with y'all? Ooh. I think that's good. I'm gonna go a little deeper. I should have brought that little light that I have that goes on my tool rest. Now, so right here, it's not so critical with this type of a box. But with this type of a box, this little recess has got to be a perfect cylinder. You know, if it slides over. Now, the type we're doing, you have some leeway. You know, you got a little, I think Clayton calls it rattle, okay? So you have a little leeway. So, in order to get that other recess perfect, what you do, and I'm not going to spend forever on this, take a set of inside calipers, set them so they're wider than the area you want to measure, bring that in, and then screw that down until you feel the tension release. Now, you can bring this out, and you can pretty much know that your little mortise is actually a cylinder. If it's not, you'll feel either when you come out, you won't be touching the outer edge, or when you come out, they'll spring back a little bit. So that's a really good way to do that. And honestly, that's deep enough. Now, I want to smooth this out in the bottom. And boy, I might have to have a little light, but I'll try. I bet I can do all right. This is that Hunter, what is it, Badger? It looks really easy when Mike Hunter does it and when everybody else does it, but there's a learning curve here. So, and my biggest nemesis is to not have a little bump in the bottom. That's the hardest thing for me with this tool. A lot of times I'll have to come back and dress it up with a round nose scraper. I want to keep that about center height. Now, are y'all okay with that light? We're not, are we? So this is a lot like our hollowing process with our gouge. As we move over, we're rotating that tool counterclockwise in our hand. And also slide the tool out. You slide the handle away. I said the tool. The handle is what I meant. Slide the handle away from yourself. And it begins to cut at the top of the arc. So you're getting more of a, what would it be, a shear scrape, a shear cut, instead of just, let's see how we feel. Well, I got a little bump in there, but you know what? I'm going to try and get it out. I'm just not going to take all y'all's time with me getting it out. Y'all, when I'm at home, it's perfect when it comes off the lathe, but it may be 3 hours later. I just got to borrow the light a second. All right, now is about the time to say good is good enough. Nah, it's not good enough, it's perfect. Now, take my little round scraper And I just want to knock that little bump out of the bottom, slightly above center height. That'll work. And I'm just going to come in, I'm going to go up over that little nub and move to the left just a little bit. Still a little bump. It may stay. Oh, a little ugly spot. Aha. I'll buy that. There's a little black something in the bottom of that thing. Okay. Now, find my little depth hole, or my depth mark. I want to shape my outside a little bit. Now, I got to remember, I've got a finite amount of stock right here, so I can't close this in. If I were going to close that in, I would have probably done some roughing before, okay? If I were going to close it in here. Did that make sense, what I was showing y'all? If I were going to do that. So now we're going to go to a little bowl gouge, if we find him, or a spindle gouge, whatever comes to hand. It'd be just my luck to not mark this. I wish I had them. Making myself a little room here. Trying to make a little bead at the bottom. I'm not going to try and make it as pretty as I would at home, or as round. I would like to, but I don't want to take up all your day. I'll scrape that a little bit. No Powermatic button. Throw it to me.
This gets in the way and it makes too much glare. Give everybody a heads up.
Yeah, are y'all okay to be? Yeah, you can. All right, this bead looks like a little pointed thing, but we're not going to waste too much time worrying about that. Now, I know there's a parting tool around here. Before I part that off, let's just make sure we're okay. These could be campered a little bit. They probably should be. If it were a job where we were going to sand, that's not very good. Here we go. So we don't have to worry about cutting our fingers. So now we're going to part this off. I'm going to go in and kind of undercut it. It didn't just go through the whole bottom, but it did. That was going so good. Well, I was worried about taking up too much time.
That's never happened to any of us.
Do what now?
That's never happened to any of us.
Has it not?
Just put a little cabochon in.
Has it? Well, that's what I may do. Well, I'm just speechless. Okay, so in review, we're going to true this end up. This time, we're going to go ahead and do like we had talked about. We're going to go ahead and start forming this. You know, at SWAT 2 years ago, I actually saw Stuart Batty go through the bottom of a bowl. So I don't feel so bad. Oh wait, that, yeah.
Move this any further this way. I can adjust.
Wherever you want it.
I'll be okay there.
All right, on this, and I'm not going to go as deep down here as I did earlier, just to save us some time. We've been here before. You know, I can't mess up again. Don't have another blank. No pressure, Chief.
Probably scare up some more. Go ahead and do it.
Wait, do what?
Well, you probably scare up another blank. Go ahead and do it.
Oh, I think we can. We got a closet full of them. We're not going to need it. I got that one out of the way. Shouldn't have another issue like that. Give it a quick scrape. Make sure I have the center a little bit better this time. Set my little O-ring. Not so deep. Somewhere between 400 and 600. Now sometimes I like to go make sure it didn't move. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's see if we can get going again.
I think the second time doing better than the first.
Do you? Oh wait, can't do that. You know, I think you're right. I think that was a good thing that we had that little mishap. Flute straight up, right in the very, very middle. Engage the wood, rotate the tool counterclockwise, push the handle away. Up. It's time for a more quiet tool. I'm telling you, it's just like home, always looking. That's a little high. I knew it when I saw it. Tiny bit more. All right. You know, you have the wrong glasses on and okay. Now we make our little ledge for our lid to sit on again. A little above center height. I want to go about 3/16 of an inch. Remember, if we wanted to, we could use those inside calipers to determine if we have a perfect cylinder. But with this type box, it's not as critical. This tool is so fat here that you really have to lower that rest more than you think you do. You gauge the wood. As you get to the rim or to the side, rotate that tool counterclockwise in your hand. Swing the handle away from you. Yes, this is a round carbide cutter. I don't remember the angles, but they say it actually cuts instead of scrapes. And you can see by the, the shavings that come out. It leaves a really nice surface.
It's typically pretty aggressive, right?
Say it again?
It's pretty aggressive cutter.
No, way less than I thought. It's, in fact, I don't call it a hollowing tool, I call it a finishing tool. You know.
If you approach wrong, it will get you a real nice catch.
Oh, I'm gonna tell you, if you hang on to the handle, it'll spin you around. No, not really. But yeah, it's different. It's aggressive, but it's not meant to remove a lot of wood.
It's already at an angle, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, and
Do you turn it even more? Do you turn it even more over an angle when you're trying to finish, or do you go in just like it is?
when I'm at the bottom of the box, that's a great question. At the bottom, I'm at, like a 45-degree angle. And I come across the bottom. Then when I hit the side, rotate it just a little as we come around the side, and as we come out, I push the handle away from me. Did that answer that at all?
I couldn't tell. I couldn't see the cutter. I couldn't tell.
So it's more, you're going from 45 degrees to more than 45, or to
Yes.
less than 45?
Yeah. So you go from a 45-degree open flute to a more closed flute.
Gotcha.
That got it?
That tip. Don't enter the top side of your box with it flat.
Oh, no.
You get catches. It has to be tilted. 37.5 is about the optimal angle. But
I thought it was 0.2.
But that's what it does, and that's why the newer tools, you'll see they actually do. That's what Sam was talking about. They're angled on the bar already. That one's not, because it's different.
Right.
Design.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Like the little Cindy Drozda hollowing tool that's got the angle and the
Yeah.
cant. Yeah.
Most of Hunter's newer tools have an angle already built in, but some of them don't.
All right. So let's see where we are. We're fairly deep. I tell you what we'll do on this one. We won't undercut it near so much. How about that?
What kind of pin were you using a while ago for your depth gauge?
Pintail.
No, I have a big.
A Bic is what? A Bic operates better? Oh, y'all, I've got a phone call, but it just quit ringing. Okay, good. Here we go. So I'm going to come in behind this bead and part off again. So deja vu. Have we been here before? Now, here's our bottom. We're going to make it a small one today. Looks that way. Now we're going to put the other blank in, which is going to be our top. True up the outside and the end. Put my depth gauge away. Just anything will clean that off. All right, here's where I want mine. It's not as critical on the top. Plus, a lot of this material is going to go away anyhow. Now, take your little Vermeer calipers, and what I want to do, I need to make a jam chuck here to finish the bottom. So, just find that measurement, or that reference, I guess. I don't care what it measures to. There we go. Now we're going to add about 30 seconds. I thought I was really organized by putting that over there. Nah. Okay. Now, surely this is too big to go over there. It is. So now we're going to, and I know you guys, most of you guys have seen this done, make a taper. Make that a little bit longer. Now I want to taper my end. See how my fit is. Okay, good. Well, I'll tell y'all, the Lord takes care of some people like me. So I just stuck that on there and just let it get a little burnish. So now I know what fits and what doesn't. So just take a little dust off at a time. Still a little too tight. Okie doke. I gotta remember this is on a jam chuck. It would be just my luck. definitely want to make it a little concave. That's a no-brainer. And you know, if you wanted to at this point, you could do whatever embellishment to the bottom you'd like to do. I didn't do it on the practice ones very much because that wasn't the focus. Point tool. I just learned this. I guess everybody knew this before me. I just learned that the flat part goes up. So, if y'all didn't know that, that's all we're going to do there. Rory, that one was for you. That one was for you. Because you said, do you ever think about embellishing the bottom of these bottles? Okay. Oh, it came off, y'all. That's a good thing. This number 2 trial is going pretty well. So now, I like for my, here we go. There. I like for this to be able to match. Match is not the right word, but the cylinder inside the mortise and the little other thing, tenon. I like for that to be, see how that's flat and then it moves up? I like for that angle to be exactly where this is, right here. The very inside of that. So, I got a little ahead of myself on that, but that's, you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay, so we know that fits. We know that's about right. We can take any tool and get rid of some waste. I've got tools everywhere. Definitely don't get down into your tenon. Now this tenon, well, first we need to address this end here. And we could embellish. This is by the way the inside of the top, so we can do something in here too. Just a quick something, just so that somebody sees that at a craft show or something, they'll know you at least looked at it. Okay. Now this was a jam fit, so that's not going to work. We need to take a little bit of that down. And y'all, I've tried several different ways. I've used this parting tool and I've used a Bedan. And if I can get a really nice, smooth cut with this gouge, it's the best way for me. That's good. Now I need Now, Sammy, I have here a different kind of pencil. It's a very fine marker. And the reason is because it's like a 0.5 pencil. A fat pencil line might not work as well. So now it's a matter of shaping up our lid . A little bit high. So I just want to come in. I don't want this to be well, I think I already said it. I don't want it to be, I want it to line up. So when I look at that, I want to say, okay. And I'll buy that. That works fine. Now here we're just at liberty to do what we like. Like to have that other gouge. One thing I have to watch myself on is putting a lot of pressure on this wood at this point. Especially now I'm getting excited, I'm about to finish. Also be careful about, and I learned this the hard way, don't let it get too thin up here before you finish down here. I think that's the first thing I learned at an open shop when we did finials. Give this a little detail. Sort of like a knob at the top of it, not a thin finial. Now I'm going to try and dress this up a little here. So now I'm just going to come in and make my knob. A little too high.
Chief, if you keep making that longer and longer, is there a concern at some point you want to bring the tailstock up and try to support the?
Well, I don't know that that would really work, because when you bring, Sammy might can help me, if you brought the tailstock up and the finer end was on this end, seems like it would help a lot. But would tailstock work if you were pressing that way? You know, and knowing you're going to part it off here. I don't think it would. But we do start getting vibration out here. I will say that. That's why this is, I've tried to do some of these longer and above my pay grade to this point. To this point. I think that's a little large. How big is the bottom? How bad out of whack is that? It's pronounced. It'll be all right. That'll be a better size. Boy, I just broke my rule. Remember what I just said? Make sure you don't go here while that's so thin. So I don't like something here, I'm going to start loving it, because I'm not going to mess with it. In a real world situation, that would be a sanding job. Caught him. Now we have a little squatty box with a very pronounced lid to it. Thank y'all. I will tell you this. When I said I wanted to do this back in January, it seemed like a really good idea. 11 months ago, but I'm glad I did, because I know who learned the most, and that was me today, even here. But all the preparation, it's really a good thing. So if you've not ever done a demo before and you want to do something, think about it, because it does improve it will improve your turning, because it's a little pressure. Anybody?
Cindy Drose's tool you used.
Uh-huh.
What's that called?
That is called the handy dandy Cindy Drosa negative rake recess finisher. Okay. I'll pass that tool around if you like. It really is. Yeah. You've had one for a while, haven't you? All right, I'll pass this around. Don't be too. Remember, no sandpaper, people. So I'll pass that around and that tool as well. How many of y'all have these? The collet, the one way, not one way. Who makes the nice collet? Robust. Anybody have those? That robust collet system? I like that a lot. Now, how quickly did we get through that? Was it too fast? We're pretty early. I almost want to say let's do another one, but maybe not. Let's don't. Let's move on. Because some of y'all need to go, right, to the, who all's going to the guild? Okay. Well, with that, we'll move on. This tool really does work. Sammy could explain it really well, exactly how it works, but it's a negative rake scraper. And to me, the advantage is, number one, how long it is. Because when you can line it up on the bedway, and you know if you're lined up on the bedway, you're going to be pretty close to being a good cylinder.
Have you had to sharpen it yet?
Yeah, and it's simple. It's just a matter, well, I have honed it. I haven't sharpened it. And I just take this little hand thing and just find that bevel and just once or twice. And then on the side, find that bevel once, twice. It ought to last a long, long time, only sharpening it like that.
Did you make that handle?
I did. Yeah, and that's the robust collet system I was talking about. I got the one that has 4 different size collets. Well, you can also order just the, what's the other part called? Not the collets inside, but the parts that twist, just the little chucks. You can order that at $69 and make another handle. And you could keep a 1/2-inch collet in one and a 3/8 or whatever in the other and not have to change collets like I had to here.
Chief, I like mine so much, I started knocking out my handles off of my other gouges. So I can use just the shaft, it swap them over and either one of them goes.
I can see, especially with somebody who demonstrates, you can take a couple of handles, 3 handles, and scads of gouges and not haul handles, especially Thompson handles or Carter handles. They're heavy. They're nice, but they're heavy. Any other questions, I hope?
Most of your boxes, the bottom is radius, or do you make very many that are like close to 90 degrees in the bottom?
Talking about the inside.
Yeah, inside.
No, the bigger one that I have back there, it's a radius, but I have not done any. Well, wait, I hadn't been happy with any that I've done that had I just can't get it smooth down there. That was